A backyard barbecue, a furious vegan, a brutal Supreme Court battle, and 10,000 hungry protesters. Welcome to the barbecue war. Meet Valerie Vance. Valerie is a professional massage therapist who values deep peace, utter quiet, and total control over her environment. Her home in a sleepy suburb is her absolute sanctuary. Valerie is a strict, devoted vegan. For her, it is far more than just a diet. It is her core belief system. She does not allow animal products inside her home. She carefully cultivates a peaceful atmosphere, spending days meditating in her garden and breathing clean air. She designed her life to be a perfect bubble of calm. But living in the suburbs means you can never control who buys the house next door. Enter the Miller family. The Millers are the polar opposite of Valerie. They are a large family. They are loud, energetic, and absolutely love meat. Tom Miller considers his grill his prized possession. Every weekend, Tom fires up the grill. He invites friends over. They play music, laugh loudly, and drink beer. Most importantly, they cook massive amounts of food. Steaks, spicy sausages, and fresh fish. As the fat drips onto the hot coals, thick, greasy smoke rises from the Miller's backyard. The wind catches it, and the smoke drifts slowly over the wooden fence. It floats straight into Valerie's quiet sanctuary. But the tension is not just about the smell of meat. It is also about the noise. The Millers have active teenage boys who love to play basketball. Every afternoon, the noise begins. It is a rhythmic, maddening sound. Bounce, bounce, clang. The heavy thud of the leather ball hitting the concrete. The metallic ring of the ball hitting the rim. And then there is the dog. The Millers own a large golden retriever mix named Buster. Buster barks at everything. He barks at the wind, at passing cars, and most frustratingly, he barks at Valerie when she is trying to meditate. For normal people, this is standard background noise. But for Valerie, this is psychological torture. The smell of the cooking meat makes her physically sick. She claims she is forced to slam her windows shut and can no longer step foot into her own beautiful garden. She feels entirely trapped inside the walls of her house. Valerie tries to fix the problem. She stands by the dividing fence and yells at the Millers. She demands they stop cooking meat outside. She demands they take down the basketball hoop immediately. She insists they keep their dog completely silent. The Millers are confused. They are in their private yard, living a normal family life. They refuse to change their lifestyle to please one extremely sensitive neighbor. The fence becomes a hostile war zone. Valerie becomes obsessed. She takes photos of the barbecue grill. She records videos of the smoke. She uses her phone to record the bouncing basketball and the barking dog. She builds a massive, detailed file of evidence. She becomes convinced the Millers are intentionally blowing meat smoke into her yard to ruin her life. The breaking point comes when a stray piece of a hot dog flies over the fence and lands in Valerie's garden. It is the ultimate insult. Valerie decides she has only one option left. She files a massive lawsuit against the Miller family. She demands they be forced to stop grilling meat. She demands a legal order to stop the children from playing basketball. She demands absolute silence. The legal battle begins in a local administrative tribunal. The judges look at her mountain of evidence. They listen to the audio recordings of the dog and stare at the pictures of barbecue smoke. They make a quick decision. They tell Valerie no. They rule that the Millers are not doing anything illegal. They are just living normally. But Valerie refuses to accept defeat. She is furious. She appeals the decision, hires aggressive lawyers, and spends enormous amounts of money. She fights this brutal legal battle for 2 agonizing years. Finally, the case reaches the highest possible court in the state, the Supreme Court. The highest-ranking judges in the land, dressed in formal black robes, sit down to hear a case. Usually they deal with corporate corruption or terrible murders. Today, they are looking at a backyard barbecue and a bouncing basketball. Valerie's lawyer passionately argues that her client's quality of life has been completely destroyed. The Chief Justice looks at the towering stack of papers, shakes his head in disbelief, and delivers the final verdict. He dismisses Valerie's case entirely. The Chief Justice states that the evidence is completely insufficient. He rules that the neighbors are just doing normal, everyday things. A family is legally allowed to cook food in their own yard. Children are allowed to play. A dog is allowed to bark sometimes. The judge makes it clear the law cannot protect you from the normal sounds and smells of the world. Valerie loses everything. The grueling legal battle is finally over. But Valerie's real nightmare is just beginning. The media finds out about the Supreme Court case, and the news spreads like wildfire. The headlines are everywhere. Angry vegan sues neighbors over meat smell. TV stations broadcast the bizarre story. People all over the country read about Valerie Vance, and the public is furious. People feel Valerie is acting entitled, trying to force her personal beliefs onto a normal family. The internet decides to take action. A random person creates a public event on Facebook titled Community BBQ for Valerie. The plan is simple. Everyone is invited to bring their grills and meat to set up a massive barbecue party on the street outside Valerie's house. It starts as a joke, but then goes completely viral. 100 people click going, then 1,000. Soon, 3,000 people promise to show up with sausages and steaks. Over 10,000 people click interested. It becomes a massive global phenomenon. Valerie is terrified. She is no longer fighting one family, she is fighting the entire internet. Her lawyer desperately releases a stern public statement, warning that anyone stepping onto her property will be arrested for trespassing. He says Valerie will use the full force of the law against protesters. The situation becomes so dangerous that the local police have to get involved. The police issue official warnings, stating they will heavily patrol the neighborhood to prevent a riot. Finally, the creator of the Facebook event gets scared. Facing serious legal threats and strict police warnings, they cancel the public event. They tell people to just have a peaceful BBQ in their own yards instead. The day of the event arrives, but the massive street party never happens. Police cars patrol the empty street. Valerie stays locked inside. The physical protest was stopped, but the message was sent loud and clear. The world had aggressively pushed back against her demands. It becomes the ultimate symbol of modern cultural conflict. It is a story about how the obsessive search for absolute personal peace can sometimes create the loudest war imaginable. You cannot force the wind to stop blowing. And you definitely cannot stop a man from grilling his dinner. Now, for the truth, the story you just heard is based on highly publicized real events. The real name of the woman is Scylla Carden, a vegan massage therapist. This intense neighborhood war took place in Girrawheen in Perth, Western Australia. Between 2017 and 2019, Scylla Carden actually took her neighbors to the Supreme Court of Western Australia over the smell of barbecue and the sound of children playing basketball. Her case was officially dismissed by Chief Justice Peter Quinlan. The famous Facebook event really happened exactly as described, and thousands of people truly threatened to host a massive BBQ outside her home. This video is a dramatic reconstruction based on those actual events. This was Courtroom Tea. Case closed.